All right. Good evening to all of you here. The time is 5:32. The regular session of the Coppell Crime Control Prevention District is hereby called to order on Tuesday, May 25th, 2021, under the Open Meetings Law of the State of Texas and the Coppell City Charter. The item number 2 is the citizens' appearance. There is being a quorum present. We'll open the floor for any citizens' comments. And right before that, I'll read the instruction on citizens' appearance. The persons wishing to speak on any matter other than the item scheduled for a public hearing on the agenda must sign a register and list their residence address provided by the city secretary on the table outside the council chambers. And such person may be heard only at the citizens' appearance portion of the regular meeting or special meeting. Each speaker must state his or her name and address of residence. Presentations by individuals during the citizens' appearance shall be limited to 2 minutes each. An individual speaker's time may be extended for an additional 2 minutes with the approval of a majority of the council members present. There shall be a cumulative limit of 20 minutes allotted to any regular or special council meeting. Those persons who signed up to speak at the citizens' appearance shall be called upon in the order that they have signed the provided register. No personal attacks by any speaker shall be made against any member of council, mayor, individual, group, or corporation. With that, I will ask, do we have anybody signed up to speak?
No, sir, we do not.
All right. Since we don't have anyone signed up, I'll move to agenda item number 3, which is the introduction and the history. Now I'll turn over to Ms. Miller. Thank you, Ms. Miller. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to give you a brief background and history of the Crime Control and Prevention District. A Crime Control and Prevention District is created and authorized only if the district and the sales tax are approved by a majority of the qualified voters of the city. This is a separate entity that is governed by the Local Government Code, Section 363. The district has a board of 7 members, which is currently the voting members of the Coppell City Council. And the board is required to propose a budget, hold a public hearing, and adopt that proposed budget. Then it is presented to the governing body, which is the City Council. So tonight you are meeting as the board of the Coppell Crime Control and Prevention District. The Crime Control and Prevention District is being accounted for as a special revenue fund in the financial records of the city. And a special revenue fund is used to account for and report the proceeds of a specific revenue source, which in this case it's the 0.25% sales tax, that's restricted or committed to expenditure for a specific purpose. The Coppell Crime Control and Prevention District was approved by the voters in November of 2007 and became effective in April of 2008. The original term of the Prevention District was 5 years, which then it had an expiration of April of 2013. In November of 2011, the citizens reauthorized the district for an additional 10 years with a new expiration date of April of 2023. So for the district to continue, we would have to have an election and a vote to take place on or before November of 2022. Oops, let me go back. The expenditures of the district are in 4 areas, and this was in the election materials that we sent out in 2007. One of the programs is going to be our school resource officers. The second was community police cooperation programs, such as our women's self-defense class, Citizens Police Academy. Another was our Enhanced Radio Dispatch Center, which is our North Texas Communication Center. And then the Police Patrol Prevention Program, which is our vehicle replacement program. So that's a brief history of the Crime Control and Prevention District. So we'll move to item 4.
Before we move to agenda item number 3, is any council members have any questions or for Ms. Miller? I see no questions here, so then I will move to item number 4, consider the approval of minutes for May 26, 2020. I hope you all had an opportunity to review them. It was included in our packets. If anyone have any questions, we are happy to discuss that. If not, I'll take a motion and a second. Question or the motion? We have a motion from Mayor Pro Tem Mark Hill, seconded by Mr. Councilman Nevels. All in favor?
Long, Hinojosa Smith, Nevels, Dunn, Matthew Hill in favor, none opposed. The motion carries.
Okay, so now we will move to agenda item number 5, review of the Crime Control Prevention District budget for FY 21 and 22. I'll turn back over to Ms. Miller. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the total Crime Control and Prevention District revenues are projected to be $2,925,875 for this next fiscal year. These projections are based upon Rule 3.334 becoming effective October 1st of 2021. So the estimate that we are estimating to collect on our sales tax for this next fiscal year is 45% of the fiscal year 21 amended budget. Sales tax is our primary source of revenue for this fund, and it's estimated to be $2,630,875, or almost 90% of the fund's revenues. The remaining revenue is provided by a salary reimbursement that we receive from the Coppell Independent School District for our school resource officers at about $275,000. And then we receive interest earnings of about $20,000, or less than 1% of the revenues come from interest earnings. The expenditures for the Crime Control and Prevention District are projected to be $4,078,503 for this next fiscal year. Our salary and benefits are projected to be $1,551,243, or about 38% of the expenditure budget. This funds 19 positions related to our SRO program, our neighborhood community policing program. Currently, there are 7 vacancies in the Crime Control and Prevention District. These are going to remain authorized positions, but they will have no funding provided with them. The supplies are estimated at about $34,000, or less than 1% of the budget. Services make up 47% of the budget, and it's $1,903,602. That includes the payment that we make to the North Texas Emergency Communication Center for our dispatch services. This is a joint venture that we are in with the cities of Carrollton, Addison, and Farmers Branch. Also in our services category is the contract that we have with the city of Carrollton for our jail services. And this is the first year that we will be charging the Crime Control and Prevention District a administrative fee. And what that is it's a fee associated with services provided by the general fund, such as personnel, legal, computer time, that is provided by the general fund and is going to be reimbursed by the Crime Control and Prevention District. Our transfer category is $589,658, or about 15% of the expenditures, and this is the transfer to our capital replacement fund for fleet, and it's funding 18 vehicles at this time, and it is to help continue to fund our vehicle replacement program. This is the fund balance walk forward. We start with the fiscal year 1920 actual numbers. And what this is indicating, if you see in 2021, the first 2021, we anticipated Rule 3.334 going into effect. Shows that we were deficit spending. Well, since it did not go into effect, we are showing that there will be a surplus for this current fiscal year. But you see 2020, 21-22, we are continuing to show a deficit spending once Rule 3.334 goes into effect. This is the proposal to designate sum of fund balance in the amount that we had excess collections. Since we anticipated Rule 3.334 going into effect and it didn't, we would like to designate those excess sales tax collections for last year's and the year before that, and then the sales tax recoveries, so that we may use those for some special projects that are associated with the Crime Control and Prevention District. These would be projects such as our Axon body camera replacements, replacement ticket writers, and replacement ALPR cameras. Won't go. Okay, can someone advance the slide for me? But in summary, our revenues for fiscal year 21-22 are estimated to be $2,925,875, and the expenditures are estimated at $4,078,503. This includes the review of the 21-22 budget for the Crime Control and Prevention District, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. Does anyone have a question to Ms. Miller? I have a question for
Sure.
you. I'm looking at the slide. It shows 19 FTE and 7 was vacant. Is that 7 part of that 30 positions that we put on hold?
Last year there were 5 put on hold. They were vacant at this time last year, and now there are 7. And yes, they have been put on hold.
Right, but in terms of, those are not the same that are in the general fund. Remember, we have fund accounting, so this crime control district is completely separate from the general fund. So they are not part of that 31 or 32 that were put on frozen last year.
So it's not.
It is not, that's
Okay,
correct.
That's what I was.
Okay.
So this 7 that is on vacant now, you mentioned that we are planning to move some of the sales tax revenue we collected to this account this year?
No, we want to designate it and leave it in this account, but use it, have it there to use when we have a project such as our body camera replacements. So it will stay in the Crime Control and Prevention District fund.
All right. Thank you. Since no one else have any questions, I'll move to agenda item number 6, which is a public hearing. Public hearing on FY 2021 and 2022 proposed budget for the Crime Control and Prevention District. I will now open the public hearing for anyone who would like to speak. Do we have anyone signed up to speak?
No, sir.
Okay. Since we don't have anyone signed up to speak, we will now close the public hearing and move to agenda item number 7, which is the adoption of the fiscal year 2021 and 2022 budget for the Crime Control and Prevention District. Is there any motion and a second, please? I'm still waiting. Councilman Cliff Long. Okay, and the second, Councilmember Brianna Hinojosa-Smith. All in favor?
Long, Hinojosa Smith, Neville's Dunn, Matthew Hill in favor, none opposed. The motion carries.
Thank you. Move to agenda item number 8, review of the budget calendar for the Crime Control and Prevention Districts. Back to Ms. Miller.
Thanks. This is just to let you know what's coming up regarding the Crime Control and Prevention District. Tonight was the proposed budget presentation, the public hearing, and then the adoption of the budget. On July 31st, we will publish in the paper that there will be another public hearing that the City Council will have as the governing body. So this will be in association with the public hearings that we hold on the budget and the tax rate. And then the council is also scheduled to adopt that budget on August 11th. So we'll have another public hearing and another option for the citizens to come speak on this budget. So that was just to let you know as an FYI what's coming forward on the Crime Control and Prevention District.
Okay. Since there's no action needs to be taken on agenda item number 8, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Miller. So we'll move to agenda item number 9. It is the consideration of election of president and vice president. Do I hear any nomination for a president? Yeah, Council Member Mayor Pro Tem Kill.
I would like to nominate John Jun for president.
Okay. Are there any other names from the floor? I don't see any other names, so I would like to entertain a motion for second, right, for the president nomination. Yeah, second. So, okay. Councilmember Brianna Hinojosa-Smith. So we have the president, John June, for the next term. Congratulations. And I'll take a motion for vice president for the next year. Councilmember June.
Thank you. I nominate Mayor Pro Tem Mark Hill
Okay.
as the vice president.
Technically, you didn't take a vote. You had a nomination.
Okay.
You
My bad.
seconded it. You
So-
really don't have to have a second for a nomination. All you need is a nomination and a vote.
So we need to have a vote for the president. All in favor of President John June.
Long,
Gotta
Hinojosa,
vote for
Smith,
yourself.
Nevels,
Gotta vote
Dunn,
for yourself.
Matthew,
Got to make it unanimous.
Hill. In favor, none opposed, the motion carries.
Okay, good.
And then you
So-
have a nomination for vice president of whom?
Nomination for vice president. Yes, he's about to speak. Mark Hill nominated, yes. And motion for second.
Don't need a second. It's just a nomination. So is there any other nomination?
Any other nomination from the floor, right? Since no other nomination from the floor, we need to vote on it. And so all in favor.
You can take a vote for acclamation, and everyone can vote, and we can move on.
Long, Hinojosa, Smith, Nevels, Dunn, Matthew, Hill. In favor, none opposed, the motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we are done with agenda item number 9. And I don't see anything else on the list that I need to do here as a president. So it's been a pleasure serving on this board. I will hand it over to John for next year. Since there is no other further business to come before the Crime Control Prevention District, this meeting stands adjourned at 5:51. Thank you.